Last year had an outstanding game. He had 4 threes, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists against Arizona. So it's going to be needed to be in pretty good shape here tonight.
Arizona in the dark uniforms. Kansas 34-1. The only loss was in overtime to Missouri. And Simon
that was a smart play by Simon. He saw where the tap was going, watched the wrist, and was in right position.
Dickerson, a real shooter, has his pass stolen by Haas. Haas with Bibby moving in. Haas with the lay-in for the first 2 of the game.
Excellent anticipation by Jared. He sure didn't show any sign that that wrist was bothering him there.
Haas leads Kansas in steals. Hustling Haas. And there's Pollard with the pickoff. Ahead to Haas, who will wait for his teammates. And a travel call against Kansas.
Kansas, Jim, in the Big 12 tournament against Iowa State showed me as fine a defensive play as I've seen all year by any team. Against Missouri in the finals of the tournament showed as good an offense as I've seen this year in college basketball. This is a talented club.
Bibby over to Dickerson, skips it over. Simon will fire the 3. Back to the rim, but Bramlett's there. Misses the short lay-in and the tip, and Pollard pulls it down.
Last year when these two teams met, Kansas had a big advantage in rebounding. Let's see if that happens again. This is some kind of front line.
Pierce in traffic, has it taken away, and a foul on Pierce as Dickerson was on the break.
Dickerson, a tremendous first step. Lute Olson said he has the finest first step that he's coached since Sean Elliott, and that's saying an awful lot. He was often going there. Pierce probably picked up a pretty good foul.
Speaking of Sean Elliott, this man with the ball was the first Arizona player to be the Pac-10 Freshman of the Year since Sean Elliott won that honor. Bibby inside. Davison, who's strong, but tipped up and in by Bramlett. A.J. Bramlett.
It's a number 8 rebounder in the Pac-10 this year.
But his numbers started to jump here in the last month. He's had 31 rebounds in the first 2 tournament games.
Good steal.
Bibby with no one around him, and Arizona has the lead at 4-2.
You can see the exuberance of this team without a senior so far in this game. Another
Davison
great
with the steal, but right back comes Pollard. Haas, bounce pass stolen away by Bibby.
Excellent anticipation by Bibby coming from the weak side.
Simon lost his footing, and that's a turnover committed by the Cats. Most tournament wins. If Kansas makes it through this regional, we could have the top 4 tournament winners of all time tournament wins at the Final 4. That's a possibility.
Possibility. Some tough games to be played yet, but that would be amazing.
Kentucky, UCLA, North Carolina, and Kansas. That would be the foursome.
That put 3 number 1 seeds in the Final 4, Jim.
Kansas trying to join Duke on that victory list, tie them for 4th with a win tonight.
Dickerson on the switch with Vaughn.
Vaughn took the 3, and Bramlett with the rebound. Kansas, Billy, on its first 7 trips has turned it over 5 times.
Well, if you're Roy Williams, that says one thing: get the ball more in Jock Vaughn's hands. Little 1-4 high set by Arizona.
Dickerson with that first step for 2.
Went right by Pierce. There was no help with a high 1-4. There's no help coming from the weak side.
Pierce running one-hander. Pollard tried to tip it over to a teammate.
Bad angle.
Arizona. They're controlling the boards, Billy.
Bad angle for a right-hander to shoot that shot.
Bibby fouled in the act of shooting. Foul on Vaughn. His first.
Here we see that crossover by Dickerson. Pierce, normally at Kansas, you'd like to force a guy baseline, but if Arizona is going to play a high 1-4, there is nobody back there to help out, and with that explosive first step, Dickerson's to the hole before anybody can recover.
Bibby, first of 2. The unflappable freshman who scored 13 points in the last 7 minutes of a tight game against College of Charleston in the 2nd round.
Well, he showed everybody the first game of his college career against the University of North Carolina, where he scored 22 points, and he was going to be a factor.
8-point run by the Wildcats, and a foul called on Simon. His first.
Interesting, you always think of Simon as a guy that's such a versatile player, but he's matched up with Pierce, who has come on so big in the Big 12 tournament and here so far in the NCAA tournament. Jim, I look at Pierce, and it seems like he's been growing in the last 2 weeks. I mean, he has gotten to be so powerful on his inside game. He's got Simon by about 2 inches.
Pass out, and the sharpshooter, Billy Thomas, in. And Pierce has it taken away. He was double teamed.
Great team quickness on the part of Arizona.
And they've got the intensity turned up really high here at the start. We've got the second and third highest scoring teams in college basketball scoring off tonight. LIU first round loser to Villanova in this tournament. And Davison scores on the inside, a 10-0 run by Arizona.
Billy Thomas with his back turned just into the ball game. You've got to see the ball and your man.
Thomas, number 12, at the top of the key. Pierce, open three. So after the breakaway two for Haas in the first seconds of the game, Kansas finally scores. Simon banks it home.
Jim, Pierce has had 19 and 20 points in the first 2 NCAA tournament games and has really come up big in postseason.
Foul on Zona. That was for Pierce, though, his first 3 of the NCAAs. Led them in scoring. Bramlett has 4 rebounds. All 5 starters have scored. Zona leads. Arizona has made its last 5 shots to lead #1 Kansas. For Arizona, the 13th straight year in the tournament, second longest streak to North Carolina, and Kansas with the 4th longest streak, 8 straight tournament appearances.
Jim, you look at this early deficit by Kansas, and we think about Kansas coming back 3 times this year from being down at least 16 points. And of course, for Arizona, they were down by 10 in 2 games so far in the NCAA tournament.
Both in the second half,
Yep.
the Wildcats have come back from 10 points down.
Bramlett giving up a little weight, but banging Pollard down inside.
Pierce, 2-point shot, bounces out. Wildcat basketball. Arizona 21-9, Billy, on the year, and 5th in the Pac-10. That's the worst Pac-10 performance since 1984. They had a whole series of close losses.
Well, just take the 2 games with UCLA. They lost in overtime, and then lost 2 at home against them there. You know, there are 2 you could have had in the pocket.
Bibby over Vaughn.
Jock Vaughn going right underneath Bibby there. Good physical control and solid D.
LaFrentz quiet so far.
Nice double down.
Pierce. He's hit 2 from the same spot on the wing.
That was created by the double down defensive play to try to stop LaFrentz. Opened up Pierce on the wing.
Arizona with a break as Jason Terry, 31, has come in, and he retrieved that errant pass. He is a quick player, too. Bibby. And LaFrentz for the rebound.
Hard to believe the way LaFrentz has played this year as an All-American. Only had 1 point in this game last year against Arizona.
Blocked by Davison. Retrieved, this time by Bibby.
One of the best vertical leapers in college basketball is Davison. That was close to being on the way down. Nice decision in the air by Dickerson.
Davison, left hand, gets the roll.
Davison really has an advantage quickness-wise. Bramlett raised his fist, probably wants to come out and take a little blow. He's working so hard against Pollard, giving up all that weight.
14-8 Wildcats. Thomas steps in, drills it. Billy Thomas gives him 7 points a game off the bench.
3 for 4 in the last game.
Bramlett had Pollard behind him, had the position.
Bramlett is exhausted right now. They should go to Pollard.
Vaughn. Two more. They've got a sub waiting to come in. Donnell Harris for Bramlett.
Bramlett can hardly run up and down the floor. He's just exhausted out there. Jacques Vaughn should have taken a little bit more time.
Dickerson, a sweet swish for three, and a whistle.
How about this? Bramlett, as tired as he was, falling to the floor, gets pulled down by Pollard. Pollard picks up the cheap foul. Big break for Arizona.
And how about that? Dickerson hits the three, and he was waiting to be replaced at the scores table. Boy, that's a great time.
Nice. Lute also said, hey, great coaching decision there. I was just ready to take both of them out of the game.
And a turnover. Mike Bibby.
There was a
miscue.
Eye contact between Bibby and Miles Simon. Bibby thought he was going to come baseline. He just broke in the other direction.
Haas has returned for Kansas, and 22, B.J. Williams for the first time. Ryan Robertson also checks in. Thomas sits.
Kind of interesting now. You notice that Thomas comes in first. Robertson, who can play either the second guard or the point, comes in second.
You know that one of the great attributes of this Kansas team, so much depth. And a whistle away from the ball. Going against Bennett Davison. His first.
Here we see the pounding inside, trying to do everything they can to make sure LaFrance does not get the ball in the low post. He goes down, no question about the foul.
Dickerson returns after just a short blow. Bibby out. We've also brought in number 33, Eugene Edgerson, freshman from New Orleans.
B.J. Williams had a big game last year against Arizona. See if he can get on track.
Robertson's shot rejected. And then Edgerson reached in to make the steal. 3-on-2. Simon takes the pass. Way off on the shot.
Jim, he has a funny rotation on that shot from that angle. Hard to see him being consistent with it.
Vaughn to the line for two, and the whistle goes against Harris.
Lute Olson has some very quick leapers on this team. Harris goes up, even though it was a foul on the play. Harris and Davison, Dickerson all really get off the floor in a hurry.
That's TJ Pugh, a sophomore out of Omaha, Nebraska, for LaFrance. LaFrance has not scored in this game, and right you are, Billy. It was a rare aberration last year in the Sweet 16 game. He did not make a shot from the field, only 1 point and 4 rebounds. Not attempted a shot tonight has LaFrance. And here's the academic All-America team, the GTE academic team, and Jacques Vaughn's the player of the year for the academic squad.
This is a pair.
79% free throw shooter.
Arizona really playing this game at a tempo that favors them with their quickness. I think that Kansas, if they're going to be successful, needs to settle down, get back to a little bit more of a power basketball game.
Dickerson got caught, but he found Harris. Overshot the two-footer. Whistle against the Hawks.
It's the second time tonight that Dickerson went up in the air with this tremendous ability that he has. Looked for the shot, it wasn't there, and was still able to hang and find an open man.
TJ Pugh signaled for that one. That's the 15th foul. Vaughn out, and Robertson will handle the point duties in his absence. Ryan's a player who was a sub-starter for Vaughn, the 11 games he missed at the beginning of the year.
And Harris, of course, last year played behind Ben Davis. Picked up a lot of experience, and even more so probably in practice, playing against such an outstanding rebounder, was able to learn a lot.
And they missed two at their end. Pierce with a nifty move. No, it was really snuffed out there by Arizona. Terry's
the season record-setting steal man, and he really shows with those quick hands.
B.J. Williams hits the jumper.
Jim, as I was saying, sometimes guys have big games against certain people. There's Williams, comes in off the bench, hits the shot. LaFrance has yet to score. So it's kind of amazing how that works.
Simon. And there's Williams with the rebound. Foul on Simon. You know, Williams had 18 last year in that game, right, and one of only 5 times in his career where he reached double figures.
8 of 12 shooting. Jim, you see how Simon has this ball in his hands right here? Normally the hands would be under there. The rotation would be this way. His ball goes sideways. Watch this rotation and what he does with his wrist on his shot. And see, that creates the ball to be coming out of there with an unorthodox spin. Not even close to going in.
Simon picked up his second foul before the under 12 timeout. And Zona leads here 19-14. Jim Nantz, Billy Packer, and Craig James along from Birmingham.
Jerry Haas back in the ball game. Be interesting to see how much contact he can take with that wrist.
Ahead to Haas. To Pugh for the assist. So Haas set up Pugh beautifully with that time.
And the depth of this Kansas team is kind of amazing. I mean, all of these fellas have played in big games. They played a murderous schedule. They all know what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, foul in the act of shooting called against Robertson.
Pugh running down the court, caught the ball before he tried to make the play, looked it right into his hands. Excellent play in traffic. Jim, we see it so many times in these big games. Guys get caught up with themselves, particularly that come off the bench, fail to catch the ball before they try to make a play. But this ball club is so deep with a lot of fellas that have played excellent minutes for Roy Williams, so he's not afraid to use them.
A lot of subs in. Now all starters for Kansas on the floor. Talk about a nice rotation. Dickerson has it, but only makes 1 of 2.
And let's see if Jacques Vaughn slows things down a little bit, gets LaFrentz in the ball game, and goes to more of his power game with LaFrentz and Pollard. Holding on the inside. That's what they can attack.
That's Bramlett. Bramlett, remember, exhausted early in this game. Had a good start to this one, but now picks up number 2. Well, Thomas bounces in for Kansas, and Haas will head to the bench.
Lute also doing a terrific job with his substitution pattern, too, realizing that he can't keep guys out on the floor continuously the way Roy Williams is going to that bench. He's not as deep, but comes in with some quickness.
Thomas. Followed up by Pierce so quickly.
Came from a weak side across the lane and put that back in. Terrific rebound.
He has 8 of the Jayhawks 18. They now are down by only 2. Dickerson short.
Important for Bibby to come back in the game. That's exactly what's going to happen.
LaFrentz still has not attempted a shot 10 minutes into this game. Bramlett with the theft.
Nice job by Bramlett anticipating the pass. Look at how this team misses Bibby's leadership out on the floor. Simon showing his versatility, going out and actually handling the point.
It really does show, though, without the steady Bibby, only a freshman. He's ready to come in on the next whistle. Simon from the baseline drills it. 22-18 Arizona.
Simon's such a competitor. He just makes it work. They're sad to sit out with academic problems. We missed him in the game up in Auburn Hills against Michigan. Finally got back after the mini semester.
He missed the first 11 games to the season. Billy Thomas short. And off the shot clock, Arizona basketball. And Arizona leading by 4 with 9:15 remaining first half. Back door they try to go. The pass almost ricocheted in.
There's that versatility of Simon. The play didn't work because Dickerson brought his man into the action.
Davison, will they call it charge? Yes.
Again, Jim, if you are Dickerson, you have got to keep Pierce occupied. That play was set up, and you'll notice, see, since Dickerson didn't occupy Pierce, Pierce is there on the weak side to help out and draw the charge.
Bennett Davison's second foul, and Vaughn shoots a 3. They call it a 2. Foot on the line, only a 2. Dickerson partially blocked by Pierce.
I think he hit him on the arm.
Vaughn. Thomas for the lead. Kansas has taken a 1-point lead.
The only thing this team has ever lacked, Jim, to advance is outside shooting, and Thomas is probably as good a pure shooter as they've got when he can hit them. But none of those 5 have won a national championship. We think of that undefeated situation, Indiana in '76. 2 teams went to the Final Four that year undefeated. Rutgers was also undefeated.
Bramlett too strong. Pollard, solid rebounder. Kansas a 9-2 run. Vaughn, no look pass to Thomas for 2.
Jock Vaughn anticipated that play when he crossed half court. Beautifully set up.
(25-22) Kansas. Bramlett working on Pollard.
Now Dickerson is being guarded by Haas, and let's see if he tries to use his size and go over the top of him. Previously, it's been Pierce on him. And if you're Kansas, you've got to say, wait a second, we've got an All-American on our team that hasn't touched the ball.
The under-8 timeout has arrived. Kansas's bench has outscored Arizona's bench 11-0, including 2 for Billy Thomas on the magnificent assist from Jock Vaughn.
It's a 1-point game in Birmingham. Pat O'Brien along with the basketball committee. Clark Kellogg, Mike Krzyzewski, and George Raveling. Let's look in on Syracuse, where Texas, a bubble team a couple of weeks ago, is trying to silence those critics, Mike.
Well, they're playing with great teamwork, Pat. Their passing has been tremendous, and their team defense, they're throwing different looks at Louisville, and it's keeping them off balance.
Texas had a couple of runs, Clark, 7-0, 11-0 runs.
Well, if you're Louisville, if you want to get production, you've got to squeeze the orange, Pat. They've had 10 turnovers already, and you can't play productive basketball if you're not handling them.
Both teams lack height. Texas scored 24 points in the paint. Louisville's tallest starter just 6'7".
Well, one reason that they score a lot of points in the paint is, as Coach K said, they're getting the ball inside, but also they turn bad shots into productive offensive rebounds and putbacks.
And another thing, DeJuan Wheat, Louisville's top scorer, is being bageled right now. He doesn't have anything on the board.
And then Texas hasn't even shown their main weapon. Freeman, he's got 2 points, and they're up by 7 points right now. So this looks really good for Texas right now.
Texas red hot from the field. They lead 35-28, 2:27 left in the first half.
There's no defense for that.
All right, we're going to send you back to Birmingham. We'll check in on this game later. Kansas and Arizona knotted at 25. Let's go back to courtside to Jim Nance.
All right, gentlemen, we'll see at halftime. Harris just hit 1 of 2 free throws after a Rafe LaFrentz foul. So the game is tied at 25 with just under 7 minutes to go first half.
Jim, 7 minutes to go. LaFrentz still has not touched the ball. If you're Kansas, you've got to get him in the offensive action. Here he is in a low post.
His first field goal attempt of the night.
Good move by Roy Williams. Get the big guy rolling. You don't want to go in at halftime with him not touching it.
Averaging 18 a game, and it took, well, over 13 minutes for LaFrentz to even fire one up.
And not the easiest of shots did he make. Here's that matchup we talked about, the freshman against the senior at point guard.
Charge on Simon. His third.
That's as fine a defensive hedge move as you'll ever see. Williams jumping right out on Simon. Terrific footwork. Simon goes by, boom. Williams right there, feet planted. Simon tried to run right over him.
Simon says that's not a charge.
That was just excellent defensive footwork on the part of Williams.
So they have to bring him to the bench.
And you can see Jock Vaughn recognizing LaFrance's action down inside.
Arizona basketball. Brian Robertson for Haas.
When Jock Bond had to sit down at the start of this year, everybody talked about the fact that it may work out to the benefit of Kansas and the fact that Robertson will have to play quality minutes and give confidence to his teammates that he can run the show. So now he comes into the ball game and everybody knows that he can do the job.
Dickerson, tough shot. Wow.
Well, we talked about decisions in the air to pass. That was a decision in the air to shoot.
Pierce. Kansas able to keep it. Pierce again. 3-point shot, 3-point lead.
Well, Harris did a terrific job on the earlier jumper. Didn't get out there quickly enough on that one.
Dickerson rejected by Pierce. Arizona ball. You know, the third leading scorer for Arizona is Jason Terry, and he, Billy, has only attempted one shot, 0 for 1 from the field, no points. That's thrown long to Terry near midcourt.
Terry, 75 steals on the year now. New record at Arizona.
Going to call that a foul on Pierce.
Ederson is so strong inside.
But here comes a free throw attempt on the front end of a 1-on-1 from a man who really struggles at the line, put it mildly. 26 of 70 on the season is the freshman Eugene Edgerson, 37%. Said, I'm nervous. I just put too much pressure on myself. But looked rather calm on that one.
Buries that one, and if you're looking at his shot, look at how much palm he has on the ball for a big guy. So the ball actually in his palm. His fingers touch it last, but he's got a lot of palm on the ball.
Well,
how about that? 2 for 2.
You think about it, 26 of 70 on the year. 2 of 2 tonight in the Sweet 16.
And he did a terrific job being in position to be fouled. So strong.
Kansas by 1. Inside 5. First half.
Pick and roll action up top.
Robertson launching the 3. Kansas has its largest lead, 4-point lead.
Robertson really hasn't been a factor statistically so far in the tournament. Dickerson for 2. He averages 20. He's got 10 already. LaFrance. And Harris. With Ederson on him, LaFrance can go inside more as opposed to fading away. Dickerson said, wait a minute, I got hit on the arm on the 3 attempt. No call. Bounce pass. Just past the blazing Paul Pierce. Pollard and Pugh in for Kansas. And Williams goes out along with LaFrance. They can keep shuttling in these front line and big-time players. Jim, it will take its toll in 2 respects. Number 1, Lute Olson is not as deep. Number 2, his guys are not as powerfully built. And a matter of maturity on the part of the Kansas players, you can tell the difference. A Bramlett who battled a Pollard. A lot of difference between 2-3 years difference in age there, and the weight that he's giving up. Doesn't hurt the guards as much as it does the power players. Bramlett turned his back, and Bibby somehow gets it back. Good move. Bramlett too strong. Pollard boxing out. You're exactly right, Jim. Boxing out and then a good, strong two-handed rebound. Both teams have gone with a man-to-man the whole time tonight and battling down inside. Nothing fancy here, just well-taught, tough man-to-man defense. Pugh goes baseline, kicks it out. Robertson, he's hit 2 off the bench. And on both occasions, Arizona did not go out and attack him. You've got to go after his jump shot, make him put it on the floor. Dickerson over 3 Jayhawks. He answered Robertson's last 3 with a jumper from the free throw line area and comes back this time, and it's another 2 quickly. Dickerson has 5 games this year, 30-plus points or more. The reason for it, he's got the outside jumper. He can drive all the way to the hole, and his intermediate jump shot game is excellent. Pierce should have been ready to go back door.
Vaughn to the line. No charge.
Vaughn switched that from right hand to left hand.
And that's his second.
Watch Vaughn come in here. Puts it in right hand, back to the left hand.
Paul Pierce has 11. Number 11 picks up his second foul.
Well, Jim, we've talked about that as an experienced bench. They have played a very difficult schedule. Roy Williams has used it frequently. With Pollard injured this year and Vaughn injured as well, the bench guys got much more quality playing time, so that's not surprising.
Terry traveled in traffic. With 2 minutes to go in the first half, Kansas, the #1 seed, with a 3-point lead. The largest lead for the Jayhawks, 5, but they did trail by as many as 8 early in this game.
For the first time tonight, Kansas has got the 3 guards in the game: Robertson, Haas, and Vaughn.
Ball was kicked by Bibby. They'll reset the 35. Field goal percentage for Kansas over 50%, and LaFrentz has attempted only 2 shots. The first team All-America did not even get his first shot off until 13 minutes into the game.
Being guarded by a smaller man right now. They'd be wise to get that ball to him in a low post. Here he is, and they're doubling down on him.
Good passing by the Hawks. Robertson, who's knocked down 2 3-pointers, this time off the mark.
Push off by LaFrentz.
And for LaFrentz, that's his second. Later tonight, Chattanooga against Providence. Never in a Sweet 16 game have seeds that add up to a 24 total. I mean, what we're saying is this is the most improbable matchup we've ever had at this point in tournament history.
And a 14 has never won this particular game, so it'll be kind of interesting.
Only one 14's made it to the Sweet 16. That was Cleveland State back in 1986.
And let's see if our 38% free throw shooter.
That's the freshman.
Well, he made 2 in a row and now misses. And you know, you think about Birmingham, Jim. This is where Ralph Sampson's team got upset by UAB. This is where Raleigh Massimino made his run to the Final Four in this arena right here. And this is where Oklahoma in '88 won to go on and then eventually be beaten by Kansas in the final game. So a lot of history in this arena.
Haas almost had it stripped away.
Jacques Vaughn should have gone backdoor. He had himself an easy layup.
Minute 30 to go, Billy.
Stood still on the wing.
Has got a pick from Williams. Pugh crashes the boards. Rejected, no call. Bibby comes out with it. 2 to tie, 3 for the lead. 2 ties it.
Terrific nose for the ball by Bibby. In traffic. He was fearless going after that loose ball. Kansas a little unsettled with this lineup on the floor right now.
Vaughn way off the mark, and Bibby has it. Good hands.
Yeah, I don't like this lineup in the game right now for Kansas.
Bibby wide of the mark, but Edgerson chases it down.
They've got an opportunity for Dickerson here. He's bigger than Vaughn.
He'll take advantage, and Arizona has taken the lead in the last minute of the first half.
Roy Williams has to take a 20. He's got a wild lineup on the floor right now to go down the end of the half, and it's costing him.
So Arizona was up 8 early. Kansas came back to lead by 5, but the Cats now front 38-36. Billy, we were talking about the seeds in the Cinderella matchup. Cinderella certain now for the Sunday regional final. Whichever one emerges. Previously, the Cleveland State Navy matchup with, if you added up 21 seed points, was the prior most unlikely matchup.
Well, Jim, I said this to you privately and maybe to some people publicly, but I think we're going to see more of this in the future of teams that, because of the balance in college basketball. And there's Roy Williams. Got to be a little bit concerned about that lineup that he had on the floor. 3 guards, no power players. LaFrentz and Pollard both on the bench. He got a little bit of foul trouble, and that causes him some problems as well. 5 times that man's been named in 9 years. And now the case of the Big 12 Coach of the Year.
It's already also received Sporting News' nod as the National Coach of the Year. Roy Williams.
And in his first 9 years, has won more games than any coach in the history of college basketball, eclipsing the record previously held by Everett Case.
He was an assistant back in that regional final in '85 when Rolly Massimino and Villanova beat North Carolina. He was, of course, the assistant for Dean Smith on a losing cause by 6 that day.
Now notice Kansas playing without anybody in the low post. Non-center position. They go to the 1-4 now for Jock Vaughn to take it the rest of the way. Dickerson on him. This is going to be fun.
On drive, stripped away by Dickerson. Terry with the quick hands. He'll put it up at midcourt. Comes up shy, but Arizona with a very aggressive first half effort. High intensity and a 2-point lead over the #1 team in the nation. That was earlier with Roy Williams. I mentioned this is the 6th time Kansas has trailed at halftime. In the other 5 occasions, the Jayhawks came back to win the game anyway.
Jim, entirely different look on the faces of these two different teams. We saw in the Arizona shoot around, a lot of smiling, a lot of laughing. Kansas very sincere, and that's that exuberance of youth on that Arizona side. And let's see if the serious nature of Kansas can control some of the youth and quickness of Arizona.
LaFrentz tied it and matched his first half total. Davison lost it on the floor, got it back, and Pollard swats it all the way to the outside.
In the opening round of the NCAA tournament this year against Jackson State, Kansas set an all-time new record for 13 blocks, starting the second half about the same way.
Simon with 3 fouls, misses that one. Bramlett puts it back up and in. We talked so much in the first half about Rafe LaFrentz not getting a chance to touch it too much, but Scott Pollard only took 1 shot and did not score in the first half.
Well, the first half was a game of quickness. Let's see if Kansas can turn it into a game of power. So far, Arizona doing an incredibly good job with their quickness. And there it is.
Oh, and Davison couldn't quite pull it down.
Pass was perfect. And where was the Kansas defender on that? Davison beat everybody down floor.
LaFrentz, he has both buckets for Kansas in the second half.
There's the difference. When Pollard steps out front, you can afford to stay back in the lane. But when LaFrentz steps out, you better go out there and play him.
Dickerson, rainbow maker. And out of bounds off Arizona. This one should have been converted a moment ago.
Bibby put it right on the money. And as I said before, Davison just beat Pollard down the floor. He went way above the rim, but actually needed to make the catch first and then the put away. We saw Pugh do that in the first half. You know, you gotta catch it.
Pierce +1. The call on Dickerson.
And we see in the second half the plan by Roy Williams. He was having a lot of hard time getting power plays on the inside in his half-court set. The second half, he's going right down inside to those 3 power players. And Pierce, as I said, seems to like he gets bigger all the time. Now he's strong enough to go down there and post up even a Dickerson.
Gives him a 3-point lead. That was the first whistle on Dickerson. 43-40 Kansas.
Well, 4 starters for Kansas had 2 fouls in the first half. For the first time today, Kansas tries a half-court trap.
Bibby.
Does he understand the game or not? Recognized the trap, realized that Kansas's defense was out of sync and just took advantage of it. Dad, the coach, of course, at Southern Cal and part of those great UCLA national championship teams, so he's got good heritage.
Thomas.
Bad shot.
Balance.
Bad shot.
Dickerson hacked by Pollard.
That's his 3rd. Dickerson's causing so much trouble with his penetration. You've got to come over and help out. Even a guy like Pierce, he goes over the top of him.
So the junior from Seattle, Washington will shoot 2. If he makes them both, he can give Arizona the lead back.
And Jim, interesting, looking at Roy Williams sitting over there, he did not even think about substituting here. So I guess he's going to go with it, realizing he's got to get control of the game down inside. And with Haas on the bench, you have to wonder if that wrist tightened up a little bit during halftime.
Lob it inside. Bramlett over Pollard. Pollard almost. Well, they score inside with Simon, but Pollard with a risky block.
It really was. If you're Roy Williams, you got to say get him out of there now because he's not going to stop being aggressive. Is that offensive? Yes, it is.
My word, that's his fourth.
We remember Ricky Peral from Wake Forest picking up his fourth foul. Roy Williams took a big gamble there. And as I said, Pollard looked on one end. He was going to not slow down his aggressive play, and here he is on the offensive end. No question on the charge. That's a huge foul.
He sits at the 17-minute mark, and Arizona in front by 2.
Now we'll see if Billy Williams can duplicate what he did last year. If he did Williams, if he can duplicate it, those 18 points he had against Arizona last year.
7 on the shot clock. Simon floater. Got it. (47-43) Arizona.
You see any pressure starting to rise yet, Jim, in the faces of the Kansas players?
Last touch by the Cats.
The Arizona guys are very loose on both the bench and on the floor.
This ball by Simon.
Just got over the outstretched fingertips of LaFrance. I think Kansas got to go to LaFrance. They've got to get him off track here, start to make him a positive factor offensively.
Pierce to the line for 2. Bramlett whistle for that one. And that for Bramlett is number 3.
Well, Lute Olson got excellent play out of Harris in the first half and Edgerson, so he can go on that bench if he has to with some size.
Pierce, 3rd team all conference this year, which surprised some. He did receive some All-America consideration.
You can't spread it around too much. If LaFrance is the player of the year and you get Jacque Vaughn, and you have to give Pollard some votes, so you can't give them all.
Pierce leads all scorers with 16, but Kansas is down 2. Arizona leads by 2. Tomorrow we can start securing reservations for the Final Four. The first spot will be decided out of the Midwest when Minnesota plays UCLA. 3:40 Eastern time on CBS. Kentucky and Utah then will battle for the West Regional Championship tomorrow night at 6.
Jim, the Pac-10 9-2 record overall. Stanford out, USC out. But Kansas, and hey, they go to the zone. They go to the 1-3 zone for the first time. Kansas has beaten Cal, that's still remaining in the tournament. They've beaten UCLA, that's still remaining. And now they have their work cut out for them, obviously. Another Pac-10 team, Arizona. It's kind of interesting. They could be the champs of the Big 12 and the champs of the Pac-10 in the same year. Intercepted. Great play by Terry. The record setter picks off another one. Oh, there's a foul.
Bibby off balance drops it for a 4-point lead. Terry also set the Pac-10 single season record, just so lightning fast.
Kansas really out of sync right now.
Foul on Bibby, and that's his first.
Here we see LaFrance, dangerous pass, and there's Terry with a great anticipation. Waits, makes an excellent judgment here. And there was the great play by Bibby, off balance shot.
LaFrance way off. Thomas.
What's getting Kansas in trouble here are the terrific quick leapers that Arizona has on the floor. The guys think they're open from Kansas, and all of a sudden a Bramlett or a Davison just jumps up in the air. Great explosive action.
That one called on Jason Terry. Bramlett was in the area, but they gave it to Terry. And that's the 4th team foul. Terry, number 31, who made that big steal that led to the bucket, last bucket.
Williams in trouble. Vaughn went without the ball down inside. Your primary ball handler buried under the basket.
B.J. Williams, too strong to the hoop.
Had an easy finish. Roy Williams can't believe it. quickness on that floor for Arizona. At almost every position, they've got the advantage in quickness.
Well, but look at B.J. Williams come around. Davison, good defending on that one by the senior out of Wichita, Kansas.
And the greatest Pac-10 coach of all, John Wooden, said always take quickness over size.
Thomas and Bramlett had position. So still leading by 4. Their second.
Oh, what a pass.
Bramlett converts.
Sensational blast by Bibby. Looked to his left, knew all along that there was man open inside. Froze the defense.
Bramlett with 10 points. 6-point lead. Davison came around, got whistled for it. He thought it was clean.
Davison, a junior college transfer, and as I mentioned, probably as good a quick vertical leap as anybody in college basketball. He's going to sit down here. Edgerson will come into the ball game, and he can get in the air as well, and so can Harris.
Davison with 3 goes to the bench, and Edgerson replaces him. Donnell Harris also in for Bramlett.
Boy, it's interesting to watch these two coaches battle wits. Both have been to the Final Four multiple times. Lute Olson, of course, with 2 different teams. Roy Trice with Kansas.
Olson 3 overall, Iowa in 80, and then 88 and 94 with Arizona. Another whistle on the Wildcats.
It's going to be Edgerson trying to keep LaFrance away from the ball. One of the things, Jim, Kansas has been trying to feed the post from the wings. It has not been successful. I wonder if they'd be a little bit more successful in going to their high-low posts and getting the ball to LaFrance on the foul line. Little action inside with Harris and Pugh.
You know, Harris they didn't really have last week for the first and second round games. He had the flu, missed the South Alabama game entirely in only 5 minutes in the contest against College at Charleston, and LaFrance misses the alley-oop. Vaughn had it right over the basket for him.
2 easy shots. Williams misses one, LaFrance the other.
Dickerson.
Great defense by Pierce. How many times can you ask Dickerson to alter the shot? He made about 3 pump fakes in the air.
Bibby over to Dickerson. Oh, the pure shooter misses the short one. Pierce, long, wow, air ball. Last touch by Arizona. Kansas has missed its last 6 shots, none more alarming than this one.
Jim, this was a back screen for LaFrance, perfectly executed. LaFrance sees it, gets caught a little bit underneath the basket. More difficult play than it looked like at first.
Down 6. They lob it again. LaFrance this time lays it in.
First little break and crack in the armor there for Arizona. Harris and Edgerson getting a little argument. Ooh, LaFrance now banging Harris. There's no need to do that. Harris not an offensive threat.
Simon over Robertson, banks it in.
I tell you, he's a versatile player, isn't he? He'll step outside, get a lot of moxie.
Guy who knows how to score. Even with that awkward rotation. Pugh over Harris.
France misjudges jump.
Bodies everywhere. It's really getting physical inside, and Kansas feeling the heat, being down 6 with 12 minutes remaining.
See, there's the high-low post with a man at the top of the key. LaFrance has got to be played, which opens up the low post area. The problem, it's going to have to be Pugh most of the time, because as we mentioned before, Pollard's sitting on a bench with those 4 fouls.
Second one on Edgerson, the 7th team foul. That'll send Pugh to the line for a 1-and-1.
See, there's the high-low. There's not as much help in this position offensively as there is when they pass the ball in from the wing. Edgerson just pushing, picks up a cheap one. Hey, don't you like the way Lute Olson's using these subs? I mean, he gives guys little blows, you know, a minute 30 seconds, and then they're right back out there.
1-and-1 for Pugh, 53%.
Wow. There's Davison rested on that minute and a half. Right back on the boards.
Terry blazes by everyone and scores. Terry, who averages 11, picks up his first 2 of the night.
And Terry also now accustomed with Bibby down playing the point.
Robertson, three-pointer, in and out, but LaFrentz right there. 55-49, 11 and a half to go.
Kansas in the first half outscored Arizona 18-3 from 3. That's what kept them in the game.
Dickerson, Simon inside, left hand.
He's too strong for Robertson. That's that versatility. You know, he goes outside with quickness and matches up, then he's strong inside.
Vaughn comes back with a beautiful move of his own. He has 6.
Dickerson did not sit down 1 minute, or 1 second actually in the first half. Vaughn only 1 minute. There you see Kansas back in their 1-3-1 zone. Dickerson's open.
Three-pointer. Can't ask for a better shot than that.
And with Bibby on the bench, you might see Kansas staying in that zone a little bit.
That's a two-pointer, Vaughn. And LaFrentz hits the deck. Davison whistled for it. And if that's on Davison, let's just confirm it.
Jacque Vaughn took a blow to the groin. He's down here on the floor. He doesn't want to come out.
Billy, that is the 4th on Davison. So they'll bring in Edgerson.
Vaughn bending over. He's hurt a little bit, as is LaFrentz. Davison giving up size, and there goes LaFrentz onto the floor. No question about the foul.
Bibby after a quick breather.
Little musical cheers here by Lute Olson.
He really is making just countless substitutions.
Yeah. Just wants to keep his guys fresh. And then he's going to have to gut it out at that 5-minute mark.
Big 12 player of the year with a 1-and-1. Pierce. And another whistle on Zona. It's on Terry. It'll be now a 1-and-1 for Pierce.
Terry was just standing there and can't believe he picked up the foul. Jim, you think of LaFrentz, the only game this team lost. He was sensational in that overtime loss to Missouri. And it's going to be, if they're going to pull this game out, he's going to have to come up big the rest of the way.
1-and-1. Pierce topped Kansas in scoring against Arizona last year in the Sweet 16. He had 20. They came from 3 down in the last minute and a half.
Well, he's been the leading scorer in every postseason game for them this year.
Timeout on the floor. Arizona leads by 4. Well, Billy Packer, after overtime Thursday last night in the tournament, the madness just continues tonight. A great one here and a tight game up in the East, too.
Yeah, tremendous. Of course, we're not seeing that ball game, but we can see the score. Here, the tremendous athletic effort on the part of both of these teams. And I think that foul to Pollard has really put a crimp in Kansas's style in this respect. Both coaches using their bench very liberally. And for Roy Williams, he doesn't get a chance to get any minutes out of Pollard. So Pugh's got to be on the floor, and Roy goes zone a little bit to go ahead and try to save some energy from his big guys.
Pollard has been out with 4 fouls for almost 7 minutes on the clock. They lob it. They had 2 cats in the area, and Terry makes the steal. Look at this action. Dickerson threw it up with the left hand.
And Terry, who plays like a center fielder, Kenny Lofton, whose record he broke in steals, is just amazing out there.
LaFrentz tip with the long arms goes awry. Here comes Terry. Dickerson.
He cannot be handled by a smaller man.
Vaughn whistled for his 3rd.
Jacque Vaughn tried to stay with Dickerson. Dickerson, we've seen time and time again with his tremendous pump fakes and ability to stay up there in the air, just to dominate a smaller player. And Terry has come up, Jim, with some tremendous defensive plays and pushing the ball up the floor. So right now they've got a tough matchup situation for Kansas with Terry and Bibby in the backcourt.
There's the East Regional game with the under-8 timeout. Texas leading by 1 in that one. Here, Arizona by 7, can make it 8.
Again, how long is it going to be before Kansas can get LaFrentz the ball in an operating position? He's battling, but Bramlett doing a good job on him.
Pierce got the pass tangled up in Edgerson. Dickerson goes baseline pass. Pugh, hold on, whistle. Foul on Pugh.
Now, I said he can't be handled by a smaller guy. There you see Pugh. He's not going to be handled outside by a bigger guy either. He's one of those unusual size players that's so difficult to match up against.
Pugh 6'8". And that's just the 4th team foul on Kansas.
You know, last year in the NCAA tournament, Dickerson averaged 19 a game for Arizona. So it's not like this is something new for him. He was 6th man last year.
He was the top scorer in the tournament with that average. Ooh, that one rattles
Could that
out.
be Vaughn's? Could that be Vaughn's foul?
It is. It's his 4th. It's on Jock Vaughn.
Huge.
The #1 team in the country, the heavy favorite to win the championship, down now 7 with 9:25 remaining, and your 2 starters have 4 fouls.
And you can tell the desperation here because Roy Williams, I'm sure, wanted to keep Jared Haas on the bench because of that wrist injury, but he's got to go now and play.
So Vaughn out, Pollard out for 7.5 minutes.
And talking about something else, Jim, Vaughn was down, as you mentioned, the start of the year with the injury. Robertson was called upon to be the point. So now there's no question, based on what he proved early in the season, he can handle that role. But can he handle it being guarded by a Bibby or Terry, who are so quick defensively?
Pierce. Well, what a fake he made at first.
Tremendous fake.
Pierce with 20. Dickerson working over Pierce. Bramlett has a double-double now. 10 points, 10 boards. Timeout called by Bibby as he was about to fall out of bounds.
They wanted 20 now.
61-55. Arizona with Kansas plagued by the 4 fouls. Pollard and Vaughn. Davison also with 4 for Arizona. They've had good productive minutes off the bench by Donnell Harris and Eugene Edgerson tonight.
Jim, one of the things that you've got to give Arizona a lot of credit for has been their offensive and defensive rebounding. Kansas has a plus rebounding advantage of 9.4, one of the best rebounding teams in the country. Arizona only 3, but tonight they've more than held their own, and Bramlett has come up with some great rebounds on the inside. And they're not getting long rebounds. They're getting the tough ones in the paint.
Robertson got him with the hand.
.325 steals, and Davison in that list, but you mentioned Terry.
That steal school record was now 40. It's 40 more steals than the previous school mark. And tonight, look at this, 12 already. Bibby at the line for 2. Billy Thomas, he may have to be the answer for the Jayhawks. Come in and knock down some threes.
Well, I think that if Kansas is going to come back, they still got to do it with their power game. They've got to get it down inside. France not ready to post up.
Robertson, jumper. Pierce puts it back up. Goaltending on Edgerson. That brings it down to 5, 62-57, 8:27 remaining.
But Jim, this shows you once again how quick off the floor the Arizona players are. Look at Edgerson, no steps whatsoever. He just bounds up there, and there's no question about the goaltend. But the quickness off the floor has been amazing for Arizona. And there's the 1-3-1 zone. Roy Williams knowing that Robertson has a hard time matching up with anybody.
Bibby, no look to Edgerson for the dunk.
Second great pass by Bibby. Bibby and Ed Cota, 2 freshmen. Cota from North Carolina, Bibby for Arizona. Throw that no-look pass as good as anybody's coming into the college game in a while.
Pierce.
He's been the man of the hour, hasn't he? That's 24.
Kept them in the game, 24. 64-59, Zona.
Roy Williams goes to a 2-3 zone now.
Foul on Bramlett.
Boy, Bramlett was standing there. Lute Olson saying he wanted an intentional foul on Pierce for grabbing him in the leg. This is the second one of these today. Look at Bibby. Looks, freezes the 2-3 defense and hits inside beautifully. See how Pugh was looking, thinking the ball was going to be passed to the wing. Never anticipated what was going to happen behind him. Here's Bibby. Looks to the wing. Boom. Pugh said, where in the world did that ball come from? Right over his shoulder.
Bibby,
great pass.
And he did it after getting slapped in the face. It's double bonus the rest of the way for Kansas as Arizona's committed 10 team fouls. Pierce tonight, well, it's his first miss, 6 of 7, but gets the rebound. And the assist to LaFrance.
Well, the third team all-conference player, and I put that in some kind of italics, gets the ball to the player of the year.
Suddenly it's down to 2.
If Pierce's third team in any conferences probably ought to be the Eastern Conference of the NBA. The way he's playing.
Really?
There's that 1-3-1 zone. Pollard with 4 fouls, back in there running the baseline.
Bibby, three-pointer.
I said he was laughing at halftime. The young kid just has got ice in his veins here, doesn't he?
Thomas. And last touch by Dickerson. Got the under 8 timeout. Kansas's bench has not scored in the second half after a huge first half, but Mike Bibby, the freshman, puts him up 5. Jim Nance with Billy Packer, Craig James from Birmingham. This is an Arizona team that was stranded on the road to the Final Four temporarily. Yesterday, they had a hard time making it here, Billy.
Well, I listened to Simon yesterday talking with Dickerson, and they were talking about what did they do in the 6-hour delay, and Dickerson said, well, I went back and laid down in the locker room on the floor and went to sleep. Simon said, yeah, I went to sleep too, but I went to sleep on a bed. I had a little more sense than that. But the kids were basically with nothing to do for about 6 hours.
Vaughn over the top and out of bounds. They had their charter plane delayed, mechanical. In fact, the Cats did not even get to practice here until late in the afternoon, some 5 hours after they were scheduled.
Well, the kids certainly have handled it extremely well. They have been extra quick in this ball game. And there is the zone defense by Kansas. Pollard running the baseline. Now, he has to be careful trying to run through a screen here.
Simon three-pointer, back to 8. 6:15 remaining, and the #1 seed Kansas Jayhawks trail by 8. Vaughn and Pollard on the floor with 4 fouls each. LaFrance, take it away. They call it a charge.
Again, the quickness taken over on the power. We'll see the play, a beautiful feed. LaFrance goes in. This is Bramlett coming over from the weak side and draws that charge. Remember how exhausted Bramlett was in the beginning of the ball game? Looks a lot fresher right now.
LaFrance with 3. His folks know now that it's going to take some kind of comeback with 5:55 remaining.
Jim, Kansas has never finished the year ranked #1 in the polls. They have done that this year, but that doesn't do anything for you when it comes NCAA tournament time. You've got to win them on the court.
Dickerson, 10-point lead, largest of the night. Kansas had to go 10 minutes in the second half with Pollard on the bench with 4. Vaughn set for 3.5 on the bench with 4.
Well, we mentioned 3 times this year they've come back from 16 down, but not quite with the pressure that's on them here.
Kansas has now missed its last 8 shots from behind the arc.
We mentioned Oklahoma in '88 won here in the regional to go to the Final Four. Kansas was in the other bracket. They played Duke. Oklahoma played this Arizona team by Lute Olson, coming away with a huge victory. He turned it over.
He palmed it. You so seldom see that call.
You don't see it called, but there is no question. It's something that guys get in the habit of doing. And Jacques Vaughn gets called one, gained no advantage. We will see it. Watch him turn this ball over. There it is on his hand. He just picked it up and turned it over. And he is shocked.
5 minutes remaining. The nation is shocked. Arizona leads by 10. Bramlett rejected LaFrance again. And here comes Kansas. Thomas, 2-point shot. Gets it back. Kansas ball. They must do, the Jayhawks, what Arizona found the way to do in the first round.
Here's an All-American coming up with 2 sensational blocks. Bramlett gets it back. LaFrance goes up and puts it down again.
Arizona came back from 10 down in the last 6 minutes to beat South Alabama in the first round. Thomas. 2 Hawks fighting for it, and Davison comes away.
Pollard was the defender against Pierce. Pierce could have put that one back up and scored. And Roy Williams says, I've got to go man-to-man, so he gets out of the zone. Now with Kansas having to chase, the fatigue situation is one that you have to favor Arizona here.
Four minutes remaining. Dickerson. Arizona ball. There's just so much tension, it seems, around the Kansas team. They're not getting the rebound, the loose ball, and a timeout on the floor. The under 4 timeout. Arizona stunning Kansas at the moment.
No points in the ball game. Arizona has 12 steals in this game.
Pollard's only attempted 1 shot.
And Jim, what it is a matter of one coach getting the style that he wanted and another one not being able to get the production and the power game that Kansas needed. So quickness over power in this ball game. Example.
LaFrance with his 3rd block in the last minute on the game clock.
You see another block. Jim, the all-time record for steals in this region is by the team playing the next game. Providence had 19 steals.
Bibby with a 3.
Providence had 19 steals against Austin Peay back in '87.
13-point lead with 3:15 remaining. And Pierce tries to make a statement and wake up the Jayhawks here with the fast approaching 3-minute mark.
How about Bibby recognized the double team, got rid of it before the double team could react. He's playing a great game.
Timeout by Simon.
Better than throwing it away.
It's twice he's done that. He's utilized the timeout and stuck on the sideline. A 20. 75-64. Tell me how you get back in the game 11 down.
Well, if you're Roy Williams now, you've got to be thinking about the outside game. Pound it inside and pump the ball back out for threes. I mean, you're down 11. You've got to show some outside ability to score from the outside. Thomas, can he hit some? Jared Haas hasn't been able to go. Jim, we can see that it's evident he can't go with his wrist. So it's going to have to be Billy Thomas, Ryan Robertson, maybe Paul Pierce out there. Vaughn penetrating and kicking out. Pollard has come up with nothing here for them on the inside.
Simon again calls a timeout.
Bad screening by Arizona not to open up Bibby.
That's a full one. Leaves Arizona with 1 full timeout, no 20s. We'll be right back. With an 11-point lead and the ball.
Jim, Kansas is not guarding the man taking the ball out of bounds, Simon. So therefore, there's an extra player here on the screening. Davison comes back. Nice job.
Dickerson almost lost it.
Kansas is going to chase, get the ball in the hands of
Simon. Misses the lay-in, and here comes Kansas. They absolutely there, Billy. Dared him to come inside, and he missed the shot. Robertson, much needed 3, drops, and it's down to 8 with a timeout, Kansas.
Robertson, an excellent shooter from the outside. And Jim, what I was going to say, get the ball in the hands of Bibby if you're Arizona the rest of the way.
Robertson, after the team had missed 9 in a row from three-point land, gives him some hope with 2:31 remaining. Just a 20-second timeout.
And Jim, what happened here is that Kansas showed that they're going to chase in a half-court set. You get the ball in Bibby's hands, tell Dickerson to stay loose on that baseline. Bibby will get him the ball. They come back with Terry, so Lute Olson counters by putting 2 of his point guards in the game at the same time.
Inbound, Dickerson. Dickerson ahead, wide open, Bramlett. And one. LaFrance picks up his 4th.
Great look ahead by Dickerson. Bramlett made eye contact and took off. Kansas took the gamble, and it didn't work for him. Now notice what Lute Olson is doing. He's substituting offense for defense. He wants to have the 2 guards out there, Terry and Bibby, on offense.
4 on LaFrance. Bramlett with 12 points, 12 rebounds. A young man whose whole attitude seemed to change about 3 weeks ago in a practice when he shattered the backboard. Actually suffered cuts in the arm, had 6 stitches, but they say he hasn't been the same guy. It's been a wake-up call for him. He's having a huge NCAA tournament.
I'll give him a lot of credit, too, that won't show up in the stats, and what he's done down inside defensively on LaFrance. He's had a great defensive game.
Vaughn got it up to the corner, but first a whistle.
And you can see what Kansas is going to do. Put the ball in Vaughn's hand, have him penetrate and kick out to Robertson or to Thomas.
Dickerson second. Again, it's 2 the rest of the way for Kansas. 2:09 remaining.
And Jim, remember another thing. Taking that ball out of bounds, we had a situation where Arizona wasted 2 20-second timeouts. They only have 1 full left.
Meanwhile, Kansas has 2 full ones and a 20.
Huge free throws.
He hit 2 huge free throws last year to seal the victory against Arizona in the final 9 seconds. Is to get it to 8.
And it's going to be a full court press here. Now, LaFrance has got to be careful because Bramlett's quicker than he is if he goes long again.
Bibby split between 2 defenders.
Not many guys can split a double with Vaughn involved.
2 minutes. 2 minutes remaining.
And they're going to make him chase, and you know how hard these guys have worked tonight from a standpoint of being tired.
They fouled Simon outside. Let's see what they call it on. It's going to be Billy Thomas.
So Jim, as a team, Arizona only shoots 64%. Simon 67%. Excuse me, 77%. So one of the better free throw shooters.
And it's 1-1 for the last time. After this one, it'll be 2 the rest of the way.
Yesterday, we watched some teams practice with the big ball, shooting free throws.
That was Chattanooga.
Yeah, you can watch all different kinds of techniques. Comes down here, it's a matter of having the guts to make them, and Simon does it.
1:50 remaining. Arizona up 10.
I can't believe Vaughn gave up that ball.
Robertson hard-earned 2 inside. Timeout. Timeout called by Kansas with 1:40 remaining.
Now down to 8, Jim. A stop here, and you've got 3 possessions to get yourself back in there. If you're Roy Williams now, you have to start playing the game of arithmetic.
It's a full timeout. 79-71, 1:40 remaining. Billy, I keep thinking back to, as we look at the reset here, it's double bonus the rest of the way with the arrow belonging to Arizona. 2 years ago tonight, you and I were at Kemper Arena, Kansas City. Kansas was the 1 seed taking on a Virginia team that was a heavy underdog. And it was a big upset that night by the Cavaliers. Here they go long to Dickerson. Pierce put his
Great
hand up.
effort by Pierce. That was a track meet.
Vaughn. LaFrance tips it in. It's down to 6. And again, the timeout by Kansas, a 20.
How about the effort by Pierce and LaFrance on those two plays?
First, Pierce, the only chance he had was just to hope his hand was somewhere in the area.
Dickerson had him beat by about 3 steps. Pierce just put those long arms up there. There's LaFrance setting the screen for Vaughn. Bramlett, who's been all over the place defensively today, comes over to help out, and that allowed LaFrance for the tap in.
Kansas has cut it to 6 with 1:31 remaining. Pierce steals it again.
I don't know why Arizona is trying to go for the home run. What they want is to use some clock. They don't need the points. Being very careless.
1:12 remaining. This was a 13-point lead just 2 minutes ago. Every possession must count, must end in a score. Thomas with a 3. And a timeout called by Vaughn. The last Jayhawk timeout.
Why did Bibby leave the double team Vaughn to leave Thomas wide open in the corner? You'll see right here, you'll notice how Bibby came over to help out, left Thomas wide open.
In 2 minutes, they've cut it from 13 to 3. We'll be right back to Birmingham. Roy Williams with 1:01 remaining.
Jim, we talked about the exuberance of youth, trying to go for home runs, and the maturity of the older player now being more solid. That exuberance for going for that long ball really cost Arizona twice. Can they get it in bounds?
Arizona has a full timeout. That's the only timeout for either team.
Mismatch here, Pierce and Bibby. Not what Kansas wants.
Bibby takes the shot and put him up by 5.
Big mistake by Kansas in having Pierce on him.
Thomas, can he do it again? Yes! It's down to 2. Kansas can't stop the clock.
They need to get the ball in the hands of Bibby again, does Terry.
Terry almost tied up, and they call a foul on Robertson.
Jimmy, Bibby has got to come back for the ball. And Lute Olson is talking to the young man on the sidelines right now, and I guarantee he's telling him, you get back here and get the ball.
A 70% free throw shooter going to the line for 2. How about Billy Thomas coming off the bench and hitting a pair of 3s?
You know what helps him, Jim? He does not now have time to think about the shot. Everything is going strictly on adrenaline, and he's got the good stroke.
That makes it a 3-point game. But still, this is the big one to make it a 2-possession game.
Well, you can go for 2 here. You don't need to go for the 3.
Let's see what Jacques Vaughn does.
He needs to keep the ball in his hands. I can't believe he's giving it up.
Robertson launching, hitting the 3. It's down to 1. 21 seconds. And Bibby will go to the line.
How about this display by Kansas? Voted #1. Other than the overtime loss to Missouri, this team would have been undefeated, showing some guts here. And Bibby, who has been sensational, now has to go on that line. The biggest free throws of his life.
He'll shoot 2.
Got that one. How about the way he just stepping right up there, settling those knees down, eyes riveted to the rim.
Kansas will need a 3 to tie it.
Big time gut free throws there.
Kansas has hit 4 straight 3-pointers. This one to tie it. Thomas. Long rebound. Vaughn gives it up to Robertson. 5 seconds. LaFrance has to go outside for overtime. Arizona has pulled off the biggest upset of this tournament.